Most people believe they're strengthening their glutes when they perform the glute bridge. But what if this popular exercise is actually increasing pressure on your lower back, tightening your hamstrings, and reinforcing the exact dysfunction causing your pain? Today on Auralith Wellness, we're uncovering one of the biggest mistakes happening in fitness, rehabilitation, posture correction, and back pain recovery. The glute bridge is one of the most prescribed exercises by physical therapists, chiropractors, sports medicine doctors, and fitness professionals around the world. Yet over 90% of people perform it incorrectly, and the consequences are far bigger than most realize. Stay with us because later in this video, you'll learn a simple biofeedback technique used by leading back pain specialists that can instantly improve glute activation and reduce spinal stress. The glute bridge has earned its reputation for a reason. When performed correctly, it can improve glute strength, hip mobility, lower back stability, athletic performance, walking mechanics, posture, core control, hamstring flexibility, pelvic stability. But here's the problem. Most people think they're training their glutes, when in reality they're overloading their hamstrings and lower back instead. Around the 45-second mark, you'll discover why tight hamstrings are often not a stretching problem at all. The gluteus maximus is designed to be one of the strongest muscles in the entire human body. It connects the pelvis to the hip and plays a massive role in hip extension, the movement responsible for walking, climbing stairs, standing upright, running, lifting objects, and even getting out of a chair. Every single day, your glutes are supposed to help stabilize and propel your body. But modern lifestyles are changing how our muscles function. Long hours of sitting, inactivity, poor posture, repetitive movement patterns, and weak neuromuscular control can all reduce glute activation. This phenomenon is often referred to as dead butt syndrome, gluteal amnesia office chair syndrome, and it's becoming incredibly common. Keep watching because in less than 2 minutes you'll learn why weak glutes can silently overload the spine without you realizing it. The body relies on 3 major muscle groups during hip extension: the glutes, the hamstrings, the lower back muscles. These muscles work together as a team, but they are not meant to contribute equally. Under ideal movement conditions, roughly 70% of the workload should come from the glutes. About 20% should come from the hamstrings. Only 10% should come from the lower back stabilizers. But when the glutes fail to activate properly, the body compensates. The hamstrings begin taking on far too much work. The lower back muscles tighten excessively to stabilize the pelvis. Over time, this compensation creates muscular imbalance, spinal compression, reduced mobility, chronic tension, and recurring pain. This is why so many people experience tight hamstrings, frequent cramping, lower back stiffness, hip tightness, poor posture, reduced flexibility, weakness during exercise, fatigue during walking or standing, a feeling that the back may give out. Around the 3-minute mark, you'll learn why constantly stretching tight hamstrings often fails to solve the real problem. For more than 20 years, rehabilitation clinics have seen the same pattern repeatedly. Patients come in after trying stretching routines, massages, foam rolling, or random exercises they found online, yet their symptoms continue returning because the underlying movement dysfunction was never corrected. And one of the most common exercises prescribed to these patients, the glute bridge. But again, if the glute bridge is performed incorrectly, it can reinforce bad movement patterns instead of correcting them. That's why understanding proper form is absolutely critical. Stay tuned because the next section reveals the 4 biggest glute bridge mistakes, destroying glute activation. Mistake number 1 involves foot positioning. This is one of the most overlooked details in the entire exercise. Many people place their feet too far away from their hips. The farther your heels are from your glutes, the more your hamstrings take over the movement. This is why many people immediately feel cramping in the back of their thighs instead of activation in their glutes. For proper biomechanics, keep your heels relatively close to your buttocks. Ideally, your fingertips should barely reach your heels. Maintain solid traction with the floor, avoid slippery surfaces or socks on hardwood floors. Another key detail is pressure distribution through the feet. Around the 4-minute mark, you'll learn the subtle foot pressure cue that can instantly improve glute recruitment. As you lift into the bridge, pressure should distribute through the heel, the outer edge of the foot, the inner portion of the foot. Many people push excessively through the outer edges of their feet, which disrupts hip mechanics and reduces glute engagement. Balanced foot pressure creates better pelvic stability and improves muscle coordination throughout the posterior chain. The second major mistake is excessive pelvic tucking. A slight posterior pelvic tilt can help establish control, but over-tucking the pelvis creates dysfunctional movement mechanics and excessive spinal flattening. Many people aggressively force their lower back into the floor thinking more flattening equals better activation. It doesn't. Instead, the goal is a controlled neutral spine. That means gentle abdominal engagement, stable ribs, controlled pelvis, even spinal support. Keep watching because the next mistake is one of the biggest reasons people worsen lower back pain during glute bridges. Mistake number 3 is overextending at the top of the bridge. Many people mistakenly believe they need to lift their hips as high as possible. In reality, excessive height often creates lumbar arching instead of true hip extension. A proper glute bridge should create a relatively straight line from the knees, through the hips, to the shoulders. Once the ribs begin flaring or the lower back starts arching excessively, the movement shifts away from the glutes and into the spine. Here's something important. You do not need perfect range of motion immediately. Movement quality matters more than height. Proper form, repeated consistently over time, creates better strength, better flexibility, better posture, and safer movement patterns. Around the 6-minute mark, you'll discover the most important mistake preventing people from ever feeling their glutes properly. Mistake number 4 is lack of glute awareness. Many people perform glute bridges without actually feeling the glutes activate. Instead, they feel lower back tension, hamstring burning, quad fatigue, hip discomfort, or nothing at all. This is where biofeedback becomes extremely powerful. One of the most effective rehabilitation techniques involves using your fingertips to monitor muscular contraction directly. Place your fingertips gently on the sides of your glutes, not too low toward the hamstrings and not too high toward the lower back. Now, attempt to contract the glutes without moving your pelvis. Contract, relax, contract, relax. Many people immediately realize they cannot feel their glutes activating. And that realization changes everything. Around the 7-minute mark, you'll learn the fingertip cueing trick that can wake up dormant glute muscles. Using your fingertips, gently press inward against the glute muscles while simultaneously attempting to push outward against your fingers. This tactile feedback stimulates neurological activation pathways between the brain and the muscles. For many people, this dramatically improves glute awareness within minutes. Once proper activation improves, the next step is integrating controlled movement. Start by engaging the glutes first, keeping the spine neutral, maintaining gentle abdominal control, driving evenly through the feet, slowly lifting into the bridge, maintaining contraction during both the lift and lowering phases. One of the biggest errors occurs during the lowering phase when people completely lose muscular control halfway down. Controlled lowering is essential for spinal stability and muscular coordination. Stay tuned because the next variations can dramatically improve your glute bridge performance. If you struggle to feel your glutes activate, several modifications can help. One variation involves placing a foam roller, yoga block, pillow, or rolled towel between the knees and gently squeezing during the bridge. This increases pelvic stability and often improves glute recruitment. Another method involves placing a resistance band or belt around the knees and gently pressing outward during the bridge. Many people instantly notice stronger glute contraction using this technique. You should also ensure knees remain aligned, thighs stay parallel, feet stay hip-width apart. Around the 9-minute mark, you'll discover a simple heel variation that can reduce hamstring dominance almost immediately. For some individuals, emphasizing heel pressure while slightly lifting the toes helps shift tension away from the hamstrings and into the glutes. Tiny adjustments often create massive changes in movement quality. And this is the most important lesson from this entire video. Exercises alone do not create results. Proper movement does. At Auralith Wellness, our goal is to help people understand the science behind movement, pain relief, posture correction, flexibility, rehabilitation, and long-term physical wellness. Because once you understand how your body is supposed to move, everything changes. Better posture, stronger glutes, reduced back pain, less muscle tension, improved mobility, better athletic performance, greater stability, more confidence in movement. If this video helped you better understand your glute bridge technique, let us know in the comments. Do you usually feel glute bridges in your glutes or in your hamstrings and lower back? Like this video if you found it helpful. Subscribe to Auralith Wellness for science-backed wellness education, mobility training, rehabilitation guidance, posture correction, nervous system optimization, and natural pain relief strategies.